Recently, we saved 8 motorcycles from a bleak future, with one of them being this awesome Honda Dream. Although this is not the iconic 305 Dream, this one did have a 150cc parallel twin engine and is called the Bentley 150 Touring. This is actually an early version made between 1959 and 1963, but had some modifications done to it throughout its lifetime. One major change is a 160cc dual carb engine swap from a CL 160 that is very cool, but unfortunately seized up. Our mission is to make it run once again and see what we can do with this dreamy little bike.
Cool.
It's cute and sad looking at the same time.
Oh, it's very sad. About as sad as me pushing it around. I am putting my whole body
It's just
weight.
a little bike, Seth. What's the struggle?
I don't want to hear it. Oh. Oof.
It's a little low.
Bottomed out a little there. I think I'd rather push a Goldwing up than that.
Just for grins, let's see what that does.
No way.
Oh, there's no air in this.
There's no way.
This one's kind of scary.
What?
It's like 3 psi.
That's probably good. Why don't we do that before we pushed it?
I'm already terrified right now. I don't know if I want to push it while it's a ticking bomb.
It's just a little guy. Why are you so intimidated?
Touché. Well, we can ride it now.
Yeah, it's a daily.
All right, let's dig in. So this little fella is either I think between 1959 and 1963 CA 95. It is a little bit modified. It does have the 161 engine in it for some reason. And it has a twin carb setup, so I know like nothing about these except for just a quick Wikipedia search. So it might have to have a single carb, which would make sense for the airbox inlet right there, or the air filter inlet. So really, I don't know what's going on with this thing, but you know what? It's got both cables on there. I think it ran at some point with these. The engine, putting a little bit of force in the Kickstarter, seems like it's seized. So Seth over here is going to get some bore scope footage and get a diag of this thing.
Oh yeah. Those will come out just fine, right?
Maybe. But also maybe not.
Most likely not.
Hey, look, the tire's aired up.
I don't know if I call that aired up so much as preparation for explosion.
Oh, it's already bled down, which is no surprise, but
I think I'm okay with that,
that's
actually.
okay. Yeah. Also, this thing has a couple choice stickers on it.
Adds value.
And then my favorite is right here. They chopped the LE off the leaded, so just added fuel only.
It's loose now, but it literally had hardly any resistance to it.
Sweet.
Auto light. Oh, that doesn't even look that bad.
That looks like a plug that ran.
1040?
1040?
Yeah.
Doesn't smell like gas?
I don't detect any.
It might have evaporated in the last 40 years. Let's see. Missouri safety inspection, that is, I'm assuming that's where they stamped it. It's hard to tell, but that's 1975. With the tear in the sticker, I'm not quite sure.
That's almost as old as my dad.
All right.
I was worried for nothing. Much the same.
That's good. Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah,
ain't bad.
Not terrible. The valves look decent.
That's so weird. We're used to doing that at like a straight down angle. It's like
Yeah,
a whole
like-
new,
Like
a whole new orientation right now.
it's Australian.
We don't like Australia right now.
No, we don't like. That's a bad reference, actually.
All right, now we have the straight lens on this. It's a weird looking piston.
That is goofy.
Oh wait, okay. Now it makes sense.
That's more
So
like
there's
it.
the there's the dome.
I mean, it's got a little crud in there, but
I mean, that's nothing out of the ordinary for something that's sat for, somebody in the comments do the math, since 1975.
39 years?
That's pretty quick math. Were you faster than Seth?
It's probably wrong.
Wait, you say 39 years?
In 49.
I was gonna say, I'm 39.
No, you
and
said 70, right?
I'm 37. Jeez, we can't even write. I'm 37, born in 87. So 75. Yes.
I never said I was good at math, okay? And
I
apparently
never
you
said I was
aren't
good at
either.
math.
Please don't be crunchy. Kind of crunchy.
It's a little crunchy. But
I bet we could blow those chunks out
If you blow chunks and she comes back, she's yours.
and let it sit in some oil, and maybe something would happen.
oh yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of. It looks like Saw might have forced it down at some point, in that ridge there, you know.
Stood on the Kickstarter or something. So what do you think, acetone ATF or evaporust?
Evaporust has my curiosity.
I know I've yet to try evaporust.
I don't think it would hurt.
At least
anything.
on cylinders. I mean, I use it all the time for other stuff, but
Yeah, I'd say we'll give that a shot.
okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that. I would say we could go ahead and pull the carbs off, and that way we have access into the head there. We could check the valves, all kinds of stuff. This thing is crunchy, but we've got to get it unseized first.
There it is.
So the intake valve is open. So if this bike is leaning on its left side, that carburetor is exposed, water can get in and flow into the cylinder. So this makes sense.
It does.
Evaporust. Got about a third of this left, which would be enough. I have another clean gallon of it still.
You see, I'm tightening it because we don't want to reveal what's in here.
But we must.
We must.
We released a stink already. Ew.
Is that new synthetic stuff the guys are talking about nowadays?
I think it's like Pochello, the stuff they use in like Ferraris and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd put it on a sandwich.
Yeah. That's a nice spread.
Looking down into the oil fill hole, you can see the transmission input shaft to the left with a shift fork being visible. It's apparent that this engine had water sitting inside of it for a period of time, and because of that, there is some rust which we need to deal with. This specific engine uses full roller bearings for the crankshaft and connecting rods, which can get corrosion, but we can't get a clear view of them, unfortunately. A little bit of rust on the transmission gears doesn't bother me as much as rust on the cam chain like you see here, so the goal is to fill the crankcase with evaporust to remove what we can. There we go. That is water.
Ugh. That's potable, right? Hey, there's oil.
That's debatable.
It's just a little late to the party.
This little sludge. Mmm. Yummy. So before we fill it with evaporust, we want to try to get maybe some of this residual junk out that you guys saw. And why not? Foamy degreaser.
It says engine cleaner, right?
Engine
there.
cleaner. So I use the foamy stuff specifically. So I'd say just fill it. No, you don't even need a funnel.
You don't think? I mean,
Yeah. Oh. This is the good stuff. Oh no, that was expansion foam. I forgot.
Ooh, oops.
That, can you imagine? That would be
Lose their
so
mind.
terrible.
See, look, it's working. It's pulling the junk right out.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's dripping a little bit.
So probably I can just like direct inject this stuff.
Or here, if we cap that with our hand or the rag and then just put compressed air.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's gonna be nasty. Oh yeah. That's coming out back here somewhere, I think.
What?
That was a crankcase breather.
Breather?
Well, that's good. It means it's not clogged. I kind of feel bad wasting that can. For a while, you couldn't find the foamy stuff.
Really? I've always found it. I mean, it's sat on the shelf.
Now it's back, so you can get it like Napa and O'Reilly's and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's kind of doing something.
It's making a mess. That's what it's doing.
Hey, look. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to just use the whole can?
Well, let's see. Let's take a pause. We'll look at it and see where it's at. Oh no.
We got a problem.
So I thought that was a crankcase breather, but it turns out somebody cut up their Tonka truck and made a patch panel for the crankcase. Let's see if I can even get this on camera. Sorry if this is tilted. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a hole in the crankcase. So that actually worked out really good, telling you to put pressure in it, looking for that leak, because I'm like, that shouldn't leak right there. It's a flat panel.
Just gonna send it, right?
We have so much JB Weld.
We do need to go through our supply.
I ain't scared of that at all. I wonder what happened to the original engine.
Man, that is hard telling at this point.
But that was actually good that we found that.
Yeah, that would have really sucked if we found out when it was full of oil.
Yeah. Well, we have just a little bit of this.
That's not our Lord and Savior Rotella.
Yeah, it's spelled weird.
Yeah.
So that might have been like, I don't know, a quart and a half. 2 quarts. Let's see how high it is. Yeah, you can see it in the bottom there. It would need quite a bit more. I've got another full gallon. I guess we'll do it.
Check that brake switch out.
That's cool.
That's old school. Ooh. That was like $5, dude.
I missed the hole, okay?
It happens.
It's kind of green because there's still some residual fork oil in this tube. Don't worry about it.
Direct injection of evaporust.
All right, that is full. I'm betting the exhaust valve is open on this one. Oh, I guess cylinder's probably out. Piston's already down. There it is.
Why not?
All right, well, tempted to pull those tops off. I doubt there's anything bad up here.
Seems like it's relatively sealed tight.
Yeah, because water's not going to get above that. we can always check that out. But I do want to put more of this in here.
You think it's gonna start coming out of that hole?
It's probably good to check. That was about yay high. So we got a ways to go. But we'll know whenever it starts coming out.
Fair point.
Tarantula.
Yeah.
So peering into this tank, it is in awesome shape. You see good metal there? There is no pitting on the bottom. There's just a little bit of oxidation and stuff, or a little bit of rust, you know, a little bit of junk. So we're just gonna shake some drywall screws in that, and it should be good to go without much effort. Now the petcock, on the other hand, this is a very unique design. I definitely don't have any parts for this, and this, I don't feel like breaking it. So I think what we're gonna do is utilize the two transfer tube ports and maybe hook that up to some T fittings and then feed the carbs off of those, and not even risk damaging this right now, because again, we definitely don't have parts for that.
No.
Still smoldering.
Me too.
Yeah, this carburetor slide was stuck. Seth just got her unseized.
A little heat gun and some gumption got it right out. Pretty crunchy in there.
Slide actually looks like pretty okay.
Yeah, look at the bore
Just
though.
caught right in the groove. Yeah. Got some junk. It's probably be easier if it was a stock setup.
Yeah. It's a tight fit.
There we go. There you go.
Smells like neglect.
Definitely some rust in that one.
Yeah. I wonder if we should drop some evaporust in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see what's in these bowls. Huh.
That ain't bad.
No.
All right.
Never mind. Oh, that pedestal worries me.
Well, Seth is over here. He's got a vat of boiling water, and he's messing with this carburetor. And basically, you're trying to, what, get that needle free?
Trying to get this plunger free. I got the needle to finally play nice, so it's doing what it's supposed to now.
Yeah, the needle's going up and down. Let me get a shot of that.
But the reason we're going all the trouble of doing it with the float still on is this thing was so crunchy and corroded. We didn't think we could get the pin out without busting the pedestal.
Yeah, the towers right there, they're really corroded, and I don't know if it's worth the risk of trying to get the float pin out. So this one came apart, you know, no problem. It looks really good. Seth already ran these things through the vapor hone. Look at that.
Pretty much rebuilt.
They're brand new. So, just taking some time. I have found that what I've been doing lately is taking old needles. I put them in a mesh basket. I dunk them into boiling water. They start to fizz and like they shoot bubbles out of there, and then I'll just try to cycle that plunger. I'll put them in a cup with like some carb cleaner, and then I'll cycle it that way. Then I'll throw them back in here. I'll do like 6 cycles of that, and I've got them working. They've been doing great, but obviously without getting the float out, that's a little bit more tricky. So just taking his time, Working it little by little. That is some evapor rust. So draining this thing out right now, and Seth's gonna try to get this thing unstuck. So the plan of attack is to go in through the left side cover. The right side looks like it has some JB Weld on the screw, so screw that.
Well, hope I can slip it. I might have to. Well, that's welded on there.
Yeah.
No, I am not taking that off. I guess.
We're not taking that off. That could be JB Weld for all we know.
It wouldn't surprise me at this stage.
Yahtzee.
Ew.
I mean, that's where that evapor rust was. We're right at that midline of the crank, though.
Well, I guess we can give her a shot.
I'd say probably the best course of action, we'll try to just barely move it back and just see if it can wiggle. And then just, see what we can do.
Ooh, there's a little movement.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
promising.
you didn't have to put much on there. Good move. PV blaster.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that right cylinder really didn't look bad. Like, too bad, considering we brought him back from worse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get on the other side and see if the piston's moving up or down. All right, stop. So go forward. Piston's going down, which is good. Valve is moving.
I think I just got past the rough spot. Oh, it's all rough, but. I think that's a full rotation there.
Oh yeah. The current. Well, it's at least 180.
Hey, that was
That's to be
disgusting.
expected.
I think she'll live.
I know she will.
Actually, it's moving really fluidly already.
I mean, it's moving fluid for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a lot more reassuring.
Yeah, that worked really well. So we will go ahead and reconvene. We'll do some borescope footage and see what the improvements are. All right, we're recording. Okay, we're gonna go right cylinder first. Show what we're looking at here. So I would call that a great success.
Looks better than my CL's cylinders.
Yeah, that worked really good. Didn't have to use much force, right?
No.
I mean, nothing like unreasonable at all. Okay.
Didn't even back the bolt off.
I guess that is a good sign. Okay. We might have to rotate this. I think the piston's going to be up on this one. No, it's down too. I think that looks pretty good. It's like it doesn't have a hone or something. All the rings are in the same orientation.
It's probably fine. It'll come out of it.
Yeah, they self-hone, right?
Yeah.
And guys, I know that this is not doing it right. Doing it right is, of course, disassembling the engine and doing a full rebuild, but that's not the mission here. The mission is just to see if we can get it running. You know, like, we're having fun with motorcycles. We're not trying to take these things to auction or restore them right now. We have custom builds, we have clean bikes. We also have some cool revivals that we get for cheap, and we're just having fun.
Well, it's just part of the fun is seeing if you can do it with what you have.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect by the book.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't make it any more fun if it's perfect either. So we have found the most fun we have is typically with stuff like this that's just kind of grungy, you know? It's a lot of stress doing a custom bike, and then this one we just get to have fun with.
Yeah, take it into a ditch, run it into a pole, you don't care. It was cheap anyway.
Yeah, you're unconscious anyway.
Yeah.
The carburetors themselves cleaned up nicely from a combination of vapor honing and the ultrasonic cleaner to get into all the small passages. No parts were replaced as we typically clean things long before we replace anything. The bowl gaskets, however, were pretty hard, so in the spirit of saving time, we simply used a bit of sealant to prevent any fuel leaks at that spot. Progress is being made. So, you guys saw this thing rotates. Seems to rotate well. Look how shiny that is.
It's gonna be pretty.
This thing is gonna shine up good. So, this thing has a 6-volt system, and it would probably work, but all we're really concerned about is making it run. So, we're not concerned about lights or anything like that. We just need ignition power. So, instead of trying to source a 6-volt battery at this hour, we're gonna go ahead and convert this thing. And by convert, I mean we take this 12-volt coil, we set it right there, and we're gonna convert this thing to 12-volt. So we're just gonna make a very simple, like 2-3 wire harness. Go ahead and put 12 volts to the coil as well as the points, which we're about to look at, and then we'll wire in a kill switch, basically.
Yeah,
simple.
Easy enough.
So, what do we have behind door number 1? I mean, there's a wire, so
Not that bad.
not bad at all. So, yes, this is a twin cylinder, but there's only one point because this is a waste spark system. So, both coil leads fire at the same time. One's on basically the exhaust stroke. So, yeah. We can pull that off, but that's very doable right there.
Oh yeah.
We have seen much worse. Cool. There is hope.
She'll run.
Get a load of this.
Don't look too
Seth
hard.
has made a custom harness. So this is our kill switch. Now he chose to actually go the extra mile, so we have this switch. It's going to be illuminated too, you know.
Yeah, it needs to be.
But that runs into there, into the traditional ground for the condenser, back out to the points, and then as we said, we have our custom coil set up. So filing the points right now, gonna get everything cleaned up, and then just, I don't know, let's just see what it does.
Yeah.
We had some momentum going, and we have been stopped for a bit. So I guess we can. We've got a welder. We can weld it. Probably not going to be easy because that's an O-ring seal. So I don't know. I'm surprised it broke.
Well, I think next the goal is going to be to flush some of that gnarly stuff out of the crankcase. Even just letting this sit here, that's been coming out of it. So I'm no expert, but I don't think your oil is supposed to look like that. So, I think some of this will fix it right up. Oh yeah. Well, just do that a bunch more times and see what comes out. Still going. Still ugly and gross and brown and chunky. It's marginally less gross. About good enough to run. I'll give it one more good flush and probably call it good. So at this stage, this engine is like basically brand new. Just took like $40 worth of brake clean and foaming degreaser. But it's coming out almost clear now. I think I'm pretty happy with that. On to spark. Time for a exciting development. Hopefully. We're gonna see if we have spark. Just hook up my OEM wire harness here. I think Honda would be proud. Hey, our little light's working. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is definitely working. Well, that was kind of dumb. I can't actually, 1 second. Much better. Let us see if we have the sparks. I kind of like lightly sanded the points and have a harness of sorts and the plug that sat in it for however many decades, so I think our chances are pretty good. Let's see here. I guess it'd help if the switch was on. Whoa. Hang on, let me see if I can get this on camera for you guys. You're not gonna believe it, but we have spark. Yeah. How about that? It's kind of hard to tell, but it is still sparking. Sweet. Well, on that note, I do believe it's time to get our carburetor situation figured out. I know yesterday, unfortunately, I had a cracked manifold issue. So we're going to do our best to repair that, get the carburetor remounted on the left side, fill this thing with oil and some fuel, and see what happens. I am pretty optimistic. This is exciting.
Now to repair this thing and do a good weld, we need to kind of dig a trench in this, but first I made a jig to help keep this thing nice and square so we can bolt it down. I have pressure on the ear that's broken off, of course the ear that's good, and then in the center, keeping this whole system flat. So now that it's lined up, I'm gonna go ahead and take a Dremel. We'll go along this groove and try to get it down to clean metal. It will still be difficult to weld. This is going to be very porous, very old, just saturated aluminum, so we're not expecting miracles. Difficult part is that we can only weld on the sides and then the top. The bottom is just too complicated, so I'll fix that with JB Weld after we get the top and sides welded. Ow, fuck. Grounded through my hand. It's all farting and stuff. That's to be expected. Probably some of the worst welding demonstration ever. I can't quite get in there with the bolt.
Got the advance mechanism out. Not terrible on the engine side, but rotor itself is pretty crunchy. So give those a quick blast in the vapor hone, lube it up, and it'll be good to go. All right, we have our newly repaired intake manifold. Looks better than being in two pieces, I think. But anyway, gonna get this guy mounted back up in there and not break it. From there, we are not far at all from seeing if this thing is gonna pop off.
All right, Seth, what time is it?
It's time for this to run.
Time for it to run. It is like I don't know, it's like 4:45. And it's Friday, it's a holiday weekend. We need to get this thing going before 5 o'clock. So we're about to do a compression check on it because we know you guys are gonna ask and we're curious ourselves. So other than that, everything is ready. So you got this thing on the left cylinder.
I do.
Okay. I don't know if I can kick.
Do you want me to
and here, you.
If you could hold that one.
Yeah, I'll hold it, you kick.
Okay, ready?
Full throttle. Dude, we'll take 90. Seriously.
That's good enough.
Yeah, we'll take 90.
That's more than I thought, honestly.
Remember, this thing was seized up, so it's not going to have like any ring seal. So 90 is fine. Now, because it's gonna run, it'll run for 30 minutes or so, and I bet we'll see over 130.
130, huh? I'm gonna say 150.
Remember, we shoot our expectations low, and then we sound like we know what we're doing when we exceed them.
That's fair.
Lower your standards, raise your average.
I like that train of thought.
All right, we're on the right cylinder. $60 it is. So this one was the cylinder that was really in question with the rust, so that is not surprising. So let's push this thing outside, see what it does.
All right.
So throwing the plugs in it now. Now I did mention Seth had built a complete wiring harness for this thing. So we're gonna use it's to 12 volt now. We're using random Yamaha coil. Stock points, he went ahead and rebuilt the advance unit, which was good because that thing was seized up, but it has spark on both cylinders running through the original condenser over there, which is cool. It ain't good, but it's hopefully good enough to run.
It'll get her done.
It's like a dual ignition bike now. We just left all the old stuff on. So as we wheel this thing outside, I've realized we're completely on theme right now because there is lightning out here. Because as usual, there's always a storm. This thing's gonna ruin the sidewalk.
It's gonna explode it.
All right, I'd say go ahead and you do the honors.
Let's do it. Are we gonna calculate how many kicks? We're gonna guess?
1.
Okay.
N plus 1, so however many it almost takes plus 1.
Hey, I guess we need a battery, don't we?
Oh. Yeah, well, we got electricity in the sky.
Doc, look, all we need is a little plutonium.
We need to,
How are we gonna do this?
because I gotta,
It's gonna have to be like forward or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
There. All right,
I'd say go for it.
contact. I heard a pop.
Yeah, I think it's gonna do something.
Should we full choke it? What do you think?
Full choke. There's no air filters or anything.
Whoa.
You got smoke on the left pipe. Whew. Take your time. Take your time. Give it like healthy kicks. Give it another splash.
There's still a little compression. I don't know if I can do healthy kicks.
You do make a point there. And we're not even using starting fluid right now.
Yeah.
More than good.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a success.
Heading out of here on a Friday. That is how you end a work week, with a first start, a successful one.
Pretty happy with that.
How many dollars did we invest and how many new parts did we put on this?
New parts, like $1, maybe $5.
So the fuel line's new. We did replace 2 O-rings.
Oh man, that's at least another 50 cents.
Restore it? Why? This is so much more fun.
Yeah, it
So
works
much
just
cheaper
fine.
too. So this thing is cool.
I
Now
dig it.
Seth has first rider fuel on this thing, but you know, I was just gonna move it on to somebody. But I think it needs to at least stay around for a little bit. We gotta get tires on this thing.
It needs to be at least made to be a decent rider, I think.
And like, you know, wipe it down a little bit.
Make it purty.
So I guess we can only do first starts whenever there's lightning outside.
It seems to go pretty well when that happens.
Yeah, with the best luck. Man, we got some color in the left pipe.
She's coming right around. The right pipe's got a little something started.
Oh yeah, okay. And that one's hiding under paint.
I think that bowl stopped
Yeah,
leaking.
I want to kick it.
Go for it.
So, on.
Yeah.
It's idling. That's a good first start. I'm only shutting it off because it's air cooled and we've been running for a minute, so.
Yeah.
Shutting it off, not it dying. Okay.
That went way better than I thought it would, actually.
It went exactly how I thought it would.
I bet it did.
Well, so we knew that would happen.
Yeah. I'll bet the right cylinder's coming right around, too.
Yeah. That thing's too cool. So I guess, when did we actually start on this? Or you start on this?
I think it was like Wednesday.
Okay, it's Friday now. I think you're right, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
So carb rebuild, mess with the advance, do a JB Weld case repair, drain the sludge out of it, put new oil in it. We haven't adjusted the valves, had to work on the throttle cables, make a new ignition system, which is fine.
And it wasn't bad.
You know, or just convert to 12 volt on the cheap. And that's it. So, sweet. All right, well, it runs, and it sounds like it runs good enough. So what are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking we get the original tank cleaned up, back on there on its own fuel system. We make some adjustments to a few things here and there. It needs like wheel bearings and a tire, obviously.
Yeah, it definitely needs 2 tires.
Probably
that
2.
one's holding air, but I'm not sure about it.
I've ridden worse, but
yeah. Oh, those rear wheel bearings. So you guys heard when we rolled this thing in, the chain is just making just bad noises. So they had this thing so tight that I think it wiped out the wheel bearings. So we'll probably go ahead and just throw some in there. The original ignition is in it, so I think all we got to do is find a key. We'll get a 6-volt battery, and I bet it'll be fine.
Oh, you think just run it on the 6-volt system?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
This was just to put it, as Cars and Camera says, for testing purposes only.
And
we proved that it runs. You know, you don't want to go investing a ton of money into something that could have like a totally trash bottom end.
That bottom end sounds perfectly happy.
Yeah. What were you just saying? It sounds better than your 350?
Yeah, it sounds better than both of my 350s, and I'm kind of upset about it.
Yeah,
but
like a little bit less noisy.
Yeah, a lot of it.
But I would love to see a buff on this thing, and just, yeah, the original tank, just lightly cleaned, and play around with it a little bit.
I think I'm going to put my buffer to town on this thing.
Yeah, we'll put a couple bucks in it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this seat. So we will update you guys whenever we do some more stuff to it, but it won't stay around forever, but we'll have a little bit more fun. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Another successful first start video. Seth really killed it on this thing. Spent almost $0 in just a couple days on it, and we got a cool bike. So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe come up with a name for this thing. Be fun. Lightning McQueen. It's red, and there's lightning outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ka-chow, it's a hot rods race car. So I don't know. Anyway, let us know what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.